My friend, I want to ask you, what is your relationship with anger? Is your anger driving you? Or are you channeling your anger towards something that is meaningful and vital in your life right now? Who is in control? Is it your anger, your emotions, your reaction, or is it your thoughts, your response, your ability to live life in a way that's true to you and your values, that is supportive of who you are and how you want to come across to people? You see, I think sometimes anger is often misunderstood, particularly in the context of trauma. And being a survivor of trauma myself, my name, by the way, is Joe Bakhmutsky. I've been through a bunch of things I wish I haven't as a child, as an adult. And now I'm passionate about helping others to go on a journey of sharing the truth, the journey towards healing. And I do that through my podcast here at powertobehappy.com, through my book, Finding Hope in Times of Uncertainty, a guide to thriving in the challenging world of today. But also in the way that I live life each and every day. Because I really believe that we're on this journey, whether we think about it or not in this way, but we're on a journey in life. And choosing the journey and understanding our journey, getting clarity about what we are experiencing is so crucial to where we're going and the sense that we're having along the way. And emotions, and particular emotion like anger, is so misunderstood. Because, when I was growing up, anger was bad. You're not supposed to be angry, because anger, I grew up in a society where there was so much anger, right? This culture of people being angry and frustrated, and it came out in ugly ways. So I guess in our family, anger was super negative, was something you are supposed to run away from, because it's just, here it is, this just comes out in ugly, unhelpful, hurtful ways. And also having experienced sexual abuse as a child, I think it also made me bottle up my emotions, because I didn't have the language to talk about what happened to me. I didn't have a way to share it, and I didn't have a way to express it. And I think so many times in my life, when I had like emotions and even anger that was kind of building up or like boiling up somewhere inside of me, I had no way to let it out. And I really believe that that's been driving a lot of my anxiety, because for most of my life, I spent like living with this crippling anxiety and panic attacks that would be set off when I was in a group of people. I would be like all of a sudden overcome by all these senses, like the conversation would get incredibly loud. The lights would just be like hurting my eyes, and I would have to like just retreat into myself and usually like kind of pretend that everything is okay. And I got pretty good at pretending that everything is okay, because other people didn't notice, but I felt it. I felt this tension, just been twisted in knots inside of me. And that was just driving me up the walls. It was that panic attacks that I didn't even know where it was coming from, but sometimes it would just like manifest itself in like being not able to breathe. I would just like get to shallow breathing. Sometimes I would have to have paramedics called, because I would physically not be able to breathe at all. And so I believe that was a manifestation of not being able to express emotions or anger or frustration with how things were. So I want to ask you, how does anger manifest itself in your life right now? If you're able to look at last time you felt angry about something, maybe something that you're typically maybe interacting with someone. Maybe it was you're talking to a person, or maybe it's something that came up when you were, reading something online. Like, how did it manifest itself? How did it affect you in that moment? How did you feel? Maybe for even, a few hours after that. Was it easy for you to change how you felt? Because what happens sometimes is that anger becomes something that just burns and crashes through things, right? We just react at the first way that it comes up, or sometimes we just hold it in. And we feel that's some kind of frustration, but we don't know how to get it out, or we don't feel safe in getting it out, or we feel we're going to be judged, or we don't know even how to put it into words or actions so that it comes out in a healthy way. So I really believe that anger is, and everything that I'm learning around healing from trauma, that anger is quite like most other emotions that maybe we haven't always got around to dealing with in the best possible way. It's not negative, it's not positive, it's just a way that we respond to things, right? It's just a natural reaction that comes up. But what we do with it matters, right? When it presents itself as usually in the context of how we are around other people, in what we do out in the world. I want you to know this. You are 100% entitled to feeling anger, to experiencing that emotion rise up within you. But what matters is what do we do next? Is the key here is to channel that anger, or in fact any other strong emotion, or maybe perhaps even negative emotion, is to channel it in a direction where it's helping you move forward. Because you're either gonna be driven by it, consumed by anger, consumed by frustration, whether you are letting it out in some unhealthy way or you're holding it in, which is also unhealthy, or you're going to find a way to let it out, to release, to channel it. And the way that I like to think about it is to redirect it towards something that is actually helpful and supportive for you in this moment in time. But I think it's important to actually stop and think when we experience anger, is to go, this is my truth, right? Because this is part of our experience. This is your truth. Something comes up, it's real. It's a valid emotion, it's automatically valid. But what do we do with it? How do I actually want to respond? And maybe you don't even know how you want to respond to it, but maybe you want to find a way to let it out. Maybe you want to be able to talk about it. Maybe you want to be able to express it in some way, maybe through your art, maybe through your work, or maybe you want to find a way to physicalize it, right? Maybe there is something that you do. Maybe you like going on a walk. Maybe you like doing exercise. Maybe you like dancing. I don't know what you like, but maybe there's something physical that you enjoy doing or that helps you, that you can do that will consciously help you to channel and redirect that emotion out of yourself. Like for me, one of the things that I like to do, especially like, let's say I had an argument with my wife. I like to go for a walk. I know I need to be in my own space. I need to be on my own. I need to think through things. I need to maybe even talk through things out loud, and I need to be moving. So I would go for a walk and I would just talk through things out loud. And sometimes I would go to the park, or I would just like, maybe just walk out on the street. And sometimes people look at me in a weird way, but hey, that's just me, And I just talk it out. I just let it happen. And in that moment, I'm able to talk through it. I'm moving, my body is moving, I'm out and about, and I'm talking through things out loud. I'm asking myself questions. I'm going, why do I feel this way? Okay, so what made me angry? Was there an element of truth in this? Or why did it affect me so much? Or what should I be doing? And I just talk out loud. And usually what comes out by the end of it is I'm able to put it into context. I'm able to weigh it up, and I'm able to channel it into a response, right? In that particular concept, like, okay, so you know what? I would love to have maybe like just a meaningful conversation about it, because here are some of the things we can talk about, or whatever that might be. But I've identified the cause of action. I've channeled this anger through just being just mindless rage, and I channeled it into just feeling like I'm in control. There's a huge difference between mindless rage or suppressing it down or holding it in and pretending like it didn't happen, or being afraid of the consequences of trying to deal with it, and trying to let it out in such a way that you feel like, okay, now I'm in control. I know what I'm going to be doing. I know the types of things I might say or do that are going to be helpful. And so these days, these last couple of months, I actually welcome the feeling of anger. And when it comes up, I feel like, okay, cool, great. It gives me energy, it puts me in the right space, and depending on where it comes from, I can channel it into my work. Because if I feel angry about how people get treated, about people getting hurt or ignored, I can channel it into doing a podcast, writing an article, writing a poem. I'm always looking for how can I channel this anger into. How can I deal with it, express it through my body? How, maybe I'll go for a walk or a run. And then how do I deal with it? And that becomes a release. That becomes a letting go of. You're not holding it in. You're not letting it just explode in some unhealthy way, but you're finding a way to release, let go, and redirect this to something that is helpful and meaningful and supports you in your life right now. I hope this serves you, my friend. This is Joe Bakhmutsky. Thank you for tuning in today. I'll see you next time.